So it's not Halloween, and I'm here to talk about skeletons and bankruptcy. What do the two have anything to do with one another? Well, it's very important. A lot of times, there is going to be an emergency type situation in bankruptcy. Now, I've practiced other areas of laws. I've seen it, of course, in criminal law and definitely in family law. Family law is simple. There could be, holidays are coming up and one parent isn't going to comply with visitation. That ends up being an emergency motion. But how is that even possible with bankruptcy when you know you're getting sued, you know everything that's going on? Why would that be an issue now? And the problem is there's still going to be situations where things sneak through the crack. A lot of times, and I've posted blogs on this before, of what the lawsuit process is. So, just look through my blog, Bankruptcy.blog, or even my YouTube videos. You can't ignore a lawsuit. That doesn't make the situation any better. So that could be a situation where all of a sudden the client or the debtor receives notice saying your wages are about to be garnished, and they've got 24, 48 hours to figure out what you're going to do. But a lot of times there's also, and you know what, I've had one process server now going for 24 out of my 25 years in business, and he's great, but not all of them are. Some are a little shady, and I've heard endless stories from clients where I'm like, this is just, beyond unacceptable. Years ago, I had a case where the in child support enforcement, where the judge was telling me, so you're telling me that the process server knowingly, served the wrong guy? And I said, not knowingly. What I'm saying is that the roommate lied. Sure enough, I was able to find the roommate, bring him into court, and he admitted to accepting service on behalf of his the obligor, the parent, and he pretended to be that person because he hated him and he was going to move out, and so that created a whole mess with child support enforcement. But these things happen, whether it's a neighbor, whether it's a process server who didn't really serve you but they pretend they do, and they just drop off the paper on the front doorstep like it's trash. So all these things do happen. And so all of a sudden you're facing a situation that you're like, what do you mean there's a foreclosure coming up in 3 or 4 days? What do you mean there's a lawsuit coming up and they're going to garnish my wage? Or there's been a lawsuit and they're going to garnish my wages? When did this happen? Now, you might have been planning to file bankruptcy anyway, but bankruptcy is a lot of work. I mean, a bankruptcy petition, at least with the forms that I use, could be 40, 60, 70, 80 pages. Now, of course, it's not typewritten 80 pages. I have to go through 80 pages and click this and click that, but it's still a ton of work. And then we have to give all that information to the trustee, bank statements, tax returns. These are things that a lot of us don't have on hand. I don't have my bank statements offhand. I have to go online. Hopefully, not too much time has gone by because then it's never there. My accountant's always getting pissed off at me because of that. But it is what it is, right? We live in these crazy times. We're always on the go. We're always busy, and things slip through the cracks. Or again, process server didn't do his job the way he's supposed to. But now let's pretend it's Wednesday and your wages are going to be garnished on Friday. Do you have time to get all that? First place, what if you're filing without a lawyer? Do you know what you're doing? How do you even start this process? Now, let's say you do hire a lawyer. Are you going to get all that information to your lawyer in the next 24 hours so this bankruptcy filing can be done immediately? Probably not. So what lawyers do is what we call a skeleton petition or bare bones petition. You might read it's called an emergency filing or an incomplete filing. I don't like to use the word incomplete because I could have filed 99 things and it's the 100th thing I didn't file, and that makes it incomplete. So I don't like that terminology, and I don't want anybody to get confused with it. But I like emergency, and at least where I'm from in Miami, we use the word bare bones, if not skeleton petition. And it's basically a petition with the minimal amount information needed just to file the case. Now, how much information? I don't know. It really depends on the facts of your case. If your house is being foreclosed on, and let's say you have 10 credit cards, the 10 credit cards aren't an issue. So you would put at least in the schedule that you have, the mortgage and the property address and everything else. You would file the bankruptcy, and then you would go to court. You have to get what's called a suggestion of bankruptcy and file that with what we call a notice of filing. Again, you can look that up in my blog, bankruptcy.blog. That process is in there. And then that will stop the foreclosure. Now, your petition isn't complete, but guess what? At least you got your foot through the door and the automatic stay kicks in. The automatic stay is going to protect you in bankruptcy. It's going to stop all lawsuits. It's not permanent, it's temporary, but you know what? Your house isn't being foreclosed on. Now, let's suppose it's actually there's no home or the house is not an issue, but your wages are being garnished from whatever creditor. Well, then the house isn't such a priority to list in the petition. We definitely have to list that unsecured creditor. So again, maybe there's 10 creditors. Just list that one creditor on Schedule F, and then go ahead, file your bankruptcy. Now, again, it's still a temporary solution. So the answer is you're going to have to go back and amend the petition, add all the creditors and everything else within the next 14 days. But that is 13 days that as of now you would have as a breathing room to get this done. So even if it means just filing this empty, a shell of a bankruptcy petition, then maybe you can go to the bankruptcy lawyer in a day or two, pay the lawyer off, if you're the one that did the filing on your own, and then the lawyer can come in and amend all the petition, the means testing, the income, expenses, all that can be done. But in the meantime, you saved your home or your car repossession or even a wage garnishment. Okay, so keep that in mind. Skeleton petition or a bare bones petition will get the job done temporarily. You still have the benefit of the automatic stay. All right. Any questions or comments, let me know. Make sure to check out my blog, Bankruptcy.blog, where I also talk about all this information. Take care, and I'll catch you at the next video.